All right, our topic today is going to be communication and collaboration, and really what we're looking at is Chapter 4 in your textbook, and it does a great job of really covering email and a lot of this different social media, but I'm going to kind of touch upon the social media a little more than the email today. We know that there's lots of forms of communication that go on online, and most of them now are really into the what we call Web 2.0 applications that allow for collaboration, and we call those social media. And you can see an image here of lots of different types of social media. Well, just starting with email, we know that it's one of the most popular communication tools we use. It's used by individuals, businesses. If you're working for a company, you probably communicate with most of your colleagues via email or instant messaging, but still very popular. Definitely, you can see here, the volume exceeds the snail mail handled by our postal system. Some problems we know. Sometimes they're unnecessary personal, forwarded mail. They can be blind carbon copy to people without your knowledge. Spam, big issue. We've talked about spam in a previous module. Well, let's talk about, you can read all about the email, and if you're not familiar with, folders and storage and those kind of things, you want to definitely pay attention to Chapter 4 in the textbook. But I'm going to cover a little bit about the technology or the protocols. We covered some protocols in Learning Module 2, and so here's some more protocols. And basically, whenever you send an email, the outgoing mail goes through what's called SMTP, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It's always used for sending email. And you usually have a email server that sends your email. So here at the college, if I send an email out, it's going to go via SMTP. On the receiving end, they can be one of three: POP3, or Post Office Protocol, just HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or IMAP4, Internet Messaging Access Protocol. And it depends on what kind of email server you're using, or email system you're using. If you're using, online Hotmail or Gmail or Yahoo Mail, it's receiving mail through an HTTP server, basically through your browser. Many large companies have email servers like POP3 or IMAP4 that receive the mail. More popular would probably be the IMAP system, because it allows you to not only have a client or software on your computer, so you can you go through email offline. You can store some on your computer if you like, or you can sync it with what's on the web. But they also have a web interface. So Outlook, that we use here at the college, I can have both the client or software on my desktop, and I can just be online and view the mail, or I could download it to my computer if I so wish to. But there's a web interface, and I can just go to a URL and access my mail online that way from any computer in the world. Email addresses, you can see there's really two components as far as the addressing goes: the user ID and the host name. And here in an image, just kind of a quick to show you how that works. But step one is your sender creating and sending the message using an email client. The server there, in this case, it just looks like a computer tower. Servers can reside on large blade servers or small, just computer, your personal computer towers. And SMTP server determines the best route, sends it through multiple internet routers. The internet service provider gets the incoming mail. So let's say it's Gmail. It's going to be using HTTP, or Gmail's internet email interface. And then the step 4 is the recipient receives the message using their client. All right, so I really want to focus on what's called social media. And these are online tools that allow people just to communicate, collaborate, and share over the internet. Very popular nowadays, lots of tools and applications, and we're going to use quite a bit of them through the rest of the semester. Just starting out, there are some forms of communication that are kind of really moving away, but still exist. But we have news groups, Usenet Network, web-based discussion groups, also listservs. There's wikis, weblogs, and when you have these types of communication, they're called asynchronous. or the sender and the recipient not required to be online at the same time. So think of our online discussion forums that we have in the class and online in Angel. There's a discussion topic, but each person is responding at different times, so you're not required to be there at the same time. It's not live. So that's called asynchronous. So one form of asynchronous communication here is listservs or mailing lists. And this is a form of, it's a discussion that takes place via email. So basically, you sign up, you find a listserv online, there's places to search for them. The key is finding a good one with a lot of active people. I belong to one that's called EdTech. It's EdTechnology. I also belong to another listserv. It's Angel Teach. And basically, I've signed up to join that listserv, and I receive messages in my mail, in my email. So there's really 4 types. There's open, moderated, announcement, and digest. And you can see here that open, just open anyone. That means anyone can join and send a message. Moderated doesn't mean that you can't join. You can join, but when you want to send a message to the list, it's going to go through a moderator first who's managing the list server software to make sure that it's appropriate for that list. Announcement, you probably receive some of these and don't realize it, but think of, I know I'm on the, I get Southwest updates, weekly updates on, discounts for flying or, for Southwest flights. And basically it says, it's a message that comes to you that says, do not respond. You most likely, if you're receiving those, have signed up to receive those announcement type listservs. Messages, or we call them mailing list. And digest is when people send the messages and then they come back in groups. So my Angel Teach listserv, I don't want to get all the hundreds of individual messages, but I do like to kind of watch the topics and discussion of what's going on. And the people on this list are from all over the country using Angel. And so I can learn a lot, and also it's a great way to share information or get some feedback. But whenever there's a specific topic, as people talk about that topic or respond, you'll get a message that comes back in a grouping all about that topic. So it can kind of eliminate the number of messages you get. Here's an example of how it works. Just simply somebody is running the listserv software, so it can just be that computer. Look at the example, computer A. And computers B, C, and D, I see the letters got a little cut off, but basically they've all signed up to receive information from this listserv. They've requested to be on this list. So if person C decides they're going to send a message to the listserv, maybe they want to get some feedback about Angel, a technical issue, or teaching with Angel. They'll send their question or their email, basically, and it goes to the list server software, and then it gets returned to everybody so that everyone on the list can see that. Another form is news groups. This is kind of more of an electronic bulletin board system, so it happens online. You used to use, they used to be hosted, well, the news groups are hosted by NNTP servers. Kind of hosts their own news groups and subscribes to news groups hosted on other servers. But they used to be read by NNTP clients where you can configure your email to read them, but now they're just kind of read through the browser. You can go online and find lots of different groups. Go to Google Groups or Cyberfiber, and you can find they're kind of categorized, like computer, education, and that kind of thing. And then you drill in. If you go in computer, and then you might be able to drill in and get to animation, and you might find groups of people that are talking about the same kind of topic. These can be useful for helping you with your career and in the workplace. I know I prefer listservs. They work for me. I can join the ones that I want that are active, and I can kind of just lurk, which is staying in the background, and just watch the postings and learn from that. Or I can, participate if I choose. I like that it comes to my email because I'm always working for my email each day. News groups, on the other hand, you're going to go online and you can go to these web-based bulletin board systems to see what people are kind of discussing. And here's just an image of how that works. As I mentioned, those news groups have unique names. They're multi-level, so each level provides more detail. So you might start with education, and then go into higher education, and then instructional technology or something like that. All right, another form of social media is text and multimedia messaging. And this is another form of asynchronous communication. Don't have to be at the same sender and receiver don't have to be online at the same time, because you could text someone and then when they get it, they just text you back. Multimedia messaging, or MMS, is just messages. It's a text message that it has audio and video. You can see the image here of the girl is taking a picture of her and her friend and using her mobile phone to do that, and can, upload that to, she could send it to someone else's phone or upload it to her profile and for Facebook or other online tools. All right, another form of chat, web-based, and instant messaging. You can see, you've got AIM, Yahoo, Google Talk, ICQ, lots of options. This is a form of synchronous communication. Now, the parties must be online at the same time. And these chat can be just, you can be, well, if you've ever been on Facebook, you can certainly just see the list of your friends who are online at the same time and have a quick little chat with them. You can use other, instant messaging features, but you can also, you'll notice if you go to certain websites now that they're used for commercial sites, use them for customer service. I know that even SUNY Connect uses one for the library service, where you can talk to a librarian, at certain times, and so when you click on it, it'll just, they'll have a chat with you. And a lot of customer service online uses this now. I know I was using the Verizon wireless site the other day, and I had a question, so I just used the little the little chat, and someone chatted with me to kind of guide me with what I needed. So it's used far more than just for us to talk with our friends. It does have a valid use in the workplace as well, when used properly, I should say. Now we've got blogging and microblogging. Blogs are highly powerful tools for sharing thoughts and ideas. They're kind of meant to be a weblog or a journal. And you have experience now with using those weblogs because you've been using Blogger to create your learning journal. And just a little information is that 30% of internet users read blogs. They say 12% publish their own, which you're now a publisher. And then we look at microblogging, which is a form of blogging, but it's really like a blending of blogging and instant messaging, because you get to broadcast little brief messages. So if you've heard of Twitter, that's a form of microblogging. It's kind of like answers the question, what are you doing? And it's only can be so many characters. And some would have said when Twitter came about, how is this going to work? Why are people going to join this? Well, there's millions and millions of users. And we can see that even just Ashton Kutcher managed to challenge CNN last year and get over 1 million people to follow him on Twitter before CNN. So it has become very popular, and you're going to look a little bit into this in one of your assignments. Again, another form of social media, we've got social networking. And many people, it's created a network of friends, and many of you probably have a Facebook account. I've got, according to a survey by the Pew Internet and American Life Project, they say 75% of online adults between the ages of 18 and 24, and 57% between the ages of 25 and 34 have a social network profile. And that was completed, a little bit ago, so I'm sure that number's even higher. But, I even have a Facebook account. I use it to post pictures of my daughter, and then my friends and family can see them, and I don't have to send them to people individually. So that works out great. But there are other social networking sites. There are lots of other actual options, more than the MySpace and the Facebook. You've got Rise, which will help as a really great tool for business networking, and LinkedIn for kind of networking for your career. So there are many, many social networking sites. If you want to make your own social network, you can use Ning, N-I-N-G. It lets you create your own it's a free social network tool. Some of these sites, we looked at social networking, allows you to network with your friends, and some of them here allow you to collaborate and share. Wikis are a great example of that. It's just web pages. The content can be edited, supplemented, or deleted by authorized users. Now, Wikipedia is an open wiki where anyone can edit it. You've got tools like Google Sites, PBWorks, WebPaint. There's many other wiki sites. But you can set up a wiki, and you can, make the URL public. You can make things private. You can choose who has access. So if I give you a small project where you're going to, 4 people are going to work on a Google Sites wiki and collaborate to add content, one person would start the wiki and then provide editing rights to the other group. So you can provide editing rights to certain people, but then viewing rights to everyone. So wikis are pretty popular. You're going to get practice with the wiki in our next learning module. Another form of collaboration and sharing, which you've just completed in a previous assignment, is social bookmarking, also called social tagging, and it allows you to post, your favorites and bookmarks to a public website, and then if you tag them and bookmark them with keywords that make sense, you can also search those keywords to find information on those social bookmarking sites. So let's say you went to Delicious and looked for Web 2.0, you're going to find, you can search Delicious site and see all the everyone that's tagged anything with Web 2.0, you would get. So it's another way to search. But we did a DIG110 privacy spring 10, and if you went to Delicious, you all individually tagged articles. But if I had 2 classes, you and both my online and on-campus course tag with the same tag. If you went to Delicious right now and searched for that tag, instead of just looking at your own account, you would see one entire complete list of all the articles that everyone tagged for that particular assignment. Great way to collaborate, great way to share, and one of my favorite things to use. So there's many social bookmarking sites. I prefer to use Delicious myself. Another form of collaboration and sharing, content sharing sites. You can, share news stories, other web content. DIG, Mix, Reddit, Technorati are all options of that. You can also use other types of content sharing sites to share and manage your photos and video collections. And you can see a list here: Flickr, Picasa, PhotoBucket, Shutterfly, YouTube. You can, anything you upload, you can make public. You can also usually keep things private, but even on Flickr, you can, or Picasa, you can tag your image. So think of if you need to look for Mona Lisa, you can go to one of those sites and just search for anyone that might have tagged images of that, and then you would find all those images. So that's kind of how that concept goes. Each individual person uploads, but if you use common tags, then people can search for that, and that's where the sharing comes in. Another form of this is social opinion sites. ePinions, Yelp allow you to, provide reviews, products, movies, books, travel, restaurants, local service. And people have lots of opinions. So that's another form of collaboration and sharing, is social opinion. And I know I like the reviews sometimes when I'm looking for buying certain products. I like to look at those reviews as well. Here, another form of synchronous communication is, and a way of sharing, is virtual meeting software or desktop sharing applications. Basically, they allow you to share text files, voice, whiteboards. You can see there's, I've got some listed here that are common: WebEx, Horizon Wimba, Yugma. I use that. You can use it free, which is great. Adobe Connect or Connect Now. Connect Now is free for 3 people to collaborate at one time using this new Adobe buzzword, which is in beta. I'll explain in just a minute. But the concept here is that you can go online and you can share your desktop, or someone else can share their desktop, and you can talk with voice over IP, or VoIP as they call it, using you see the image there. The gentleman has a headset on. Or you can all connect via conference call via phone, plus watch your computer monitor to see the presentation or demonstration. Very, very popular for training now. Companies do not want to pay their employees that live in multiple locations all over the world to have to travel to get together. So they can easily have everyone log on at the same time and participate in training and demonstrations. I do this to train faculty who don't live near Niagara County Community College. I use Yugma, and we log in together, and I can demonstrate things to them, and then they can demonstrate things to me because we can share. You can click a button to give each person sharing rights to the desktop. Yugma is really cool because I can even take over their desktop. So I can grab their desktop, with permission and show them how to do things on their own machine, which is pretty neat. So you might want to check one of those out. Great way to do that. Document collaboration sharing. Well, we've got Google Docs. Google Docs is great. It lets you upload any of your Office products like .doc for documents, spreadsheets, XLS files, or PPT presentation files, or you can create them online and even download them in PDF or DOC, Excel or PPT files. So it's wonderful. You can do that either way. But what makes it really great is not only can it store your content online, so it's just available to you wherever you are online, you also get to share. So a good example is here in my office, I have 2 part-time people that work with me, and we are always collaborating on content that's going to be distributed on the campus. So we use Google Docs, and we all have editing rights. So there's only one fresh copy. We don't have to email things back and forth wondering who's got the most recent copy. There is a revision history that you can go look at who made revisions, and you can always revert back to different or older versions. Fantastic. And you'll get some experience using Google Docs in this class. Great way to share documents. And then you can publish it to the web so that there's a URL and you can share that with others. All right, so if you have any questions, you can certainly ask in Angel. And so the next steps here is to go on and get started with your discussions and make sure you read Chapter 4 and get started on your discussions and assignments.